Have you ever wondered if it is ever truly right to break a rule, even if that rule is the law itself, when you believe it is deeply wrong? This is not about anarchy or chaos, but a profound question concerning our moral duties within a society. It delves into the very foundation of justice and legal obligation, and when those two concepts might diverge. Civil disobedience, a public, nonviolent, and conscientious breach of law undertaken with the aim of bringing about a change in laws or government policies, can indeed be justified. This justification arises under very specific and demanding conditions when laws are considered profoundly unjust, threatening the fundamental principles of a just society. The philosophical justification often rests on the idea that, in a nearly just society, citizens generally have a moral obligation to obey the law. However, this obligation is not absolute. When certain laws fundamentally contradict the shared public conception of justice, particularly regarding equal liberty or fair opportunity, a moral imperative can arise to challenge them. Thinkers like John Rawls highlight that civil disobedience is an appeal to the majority's sense of justice, a plea to reconsider laws that deviate significantly from common principles of fairness. It is distinct from mere lawbreaking because it seeks to uphold, rather than undermine, the overall moral framework of the society. So, how do we conceptually determine when such an act is justified? First, the law being protested must be a clear and substantial injustice, not just a matter of political preference. Second, all normal legal and political channels for change, like petitions or elections, must have been exhausted or proven ineffective. Third, the act of disobedience must be public and nonviolent, expressing fidelity to law in general while challenging a specific law. Fourth, those engaging in civil disobedience must be willing to accept the legal consequences of their actions, demonstrating their sincerity and respect for the rule of law itself, even as they challenge a particular part of it. Finally, it must be carefully planned to avoid creating social chaos or undermining the entire legal system, often requiring coordination and a collective sense of purpose. This framework introduces the crucial distinction between direct and indirect civil disobedience. Direct disobedience involves breaking the very law considered unjust, such as Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat. Indirect disobedience involves breaking a different law to protest an unjust one, perhaps blocking a public road to protest a discriminatory housing policy. Both can be justified under the right conditions, provided they meet the criteria of publicity, nonviolence, and a clear appeal to justice. The ultimate goal is to force a moral reckoning, appealing to the conscience of the wider community. Understanding these stringent conditions for justified civil disobedience offers a vital conceptual tool. It helps us differentiate between principled protest and mere criminality, demonstrating that even within a framework of legal obligation, there exists a profound moral space for challenging fundamental injustices. It illuminates how societies can, and sometimes must, engage in self-correction to better align their laws with their deepest ethical commitments, ultimately strengthening the legitimacy and moral fabric of the community itself.